The use of scientific evidence at a DWI trial. The use of scientific evidence can play a critical role in a DWI trial. Scientific evidence can include a variety of tests and measurements, such as breathalyzer test results, blood alcohol content levels, drug recognition tests, and standardized field sobriety tests. This evidence can be used to establish whether or not the defendant was impaired at the time of their arrest, and can have a significant impact on the outcome of the trial. One of the most commonly used pieces of scientific evidence DWI trial is the breathalyzer test. The breathalyzer test measures a person's BAC level by measuring the amount of alcohol in their breath. In most states, a BAC level of 0.08% is considered to be legally impaired. The results of the breathalyzer test can be used as evidence of impairment, but it can be challenged by the defense attorney. For example, the defense attorney may argue that the breathalyzer machine was not properly calibrated or maintained, that the test was not administered correctly, or that the administrator was not properly trained, which could lead to inaccurate results. There is also a variety of medical conditions that can create a false positive skew the results. Another commonly used piece of scientific evidence in a DWI trial is the standardized field sobriety test. Standardized field sobriety tests are a set of tests that are designed to measure a person's physical and mental abilities, and are used to determine whether or not they are impaired. The three standardized field sobriety tests include the horizontal gaze nystagmus, the walk and turn test, and the one-leg stand test. The results of these tests can be used as evidence of impairment, but they can also be challenged by the defense attorney. Since the tests are standardized, they must be administered perfectly. Any deviation for the established procedure defeats standardization and renders the test invalid. As such, how the test is given, including the instructions provided by the officer, are critical for the reliability of the test. Secondly, these are all physical performance tests. Many drivers will have physical limitations with either their eyes, knees, back, hips, etc. That would prevent them from performing these tests regardless of sobriety. A drug recognition expert is often used when a driver appears impaired but fails to register a score on the breathalyzer test. In theory, the DRE is a trained officer with expertise of noticing drug impairment. They can perform assessments such as looking for track marks on arms, burn marks on fingertips, and use the vertical nystagmus test to opine about drug impairment. Ultimately, an actual blood test would be necessary to determine if the driver was under the influence of narcotics. It is important to place these tests into their perspective. The field sobriety tests, by themselves, are the least reliable because the tests themselves are hard and grading is subjective. The breathalyzer test does create a presumption of impairment, but that presumption can be defeated by presenting evidence to show deficiencies with the test itself and evidence of sobriety. In conclusion, these scientific tests are often the backbone of a DWI prosecution. It is vitally important that you have a defense attorney experienced with drunk driving cases review your case if you want to maximize your chances of winning at trial.